Alright. Shalom, shalom, Yisrael. You know, it's your boys, Slaughterhouse in session. If you want a thon, Tabak in here. You know what it is. Yeah. Alright, so anyway, we got a quick little lesson for you guys, you know, because I feel bad because I haven't been out in a couple of days, you know what I mean? But I've been putting in work for you guys, you know. Well, I mean, you know, it's for everybody, you know. So it's really for the Most High Yahweh, you know. It's all praises to Him. Call Allah Yahweh Taba'awatakad. So, you know, but it's also Yahweh commanded us to love our brothers, you know what I mean, to love our families. So, you know, this is also for you guys, you know. I've been putting in that work. I've been putting together a lesson on angels and demons, you know. I have all the references from the Book of Jubilees. I'm also pulling it out from Enoch. You know, they're almost done. It's almost done. So once I do that, I have that, and then the Dead Sea Scrolls as well. And then I'm pulling all the ones out of the Torah as well. Fuck, I don't know if I have those in this notebook. Let me see. I don't think I do. I don't know where I was writing those ones down at. Those are a lot of precepts. I don't know. But anyway, I have a lot of lessons. That's why I just decided to pull out an old lesson from my own. I've had these forever. One on the Gentile salvation, a big old thing on it, or you know, got some on Amalek, Esau. I got a study on Dan. I still need to do that Dan study, yo. Damn it. There's just so much to do all the time, always. There's never enough time for anything, ever. Yeah. It's horrible. But anyway, so, you know, I have a Dan study. I also, you know, showing that they were the so-called Vikings and stuff. Tribe of Gad. I had, see, everybody was all yelling at me when I did that, Northern Tribes lesson, showing that the natives are Israelites, and they didn't even give me a chance to, bust out the scriptures. I even broke down a bunch of Hebrew and everything for everybody, and, no one even gave me a chance to, bring it out. That was, what a shame. Look at this. I have, a whole freaking, 2 pages worth of, scriptures to prove that natives are Israelites, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, let's see. History of the Hebrews in Egypt. I've got a freaking boatload of scriptures having to do with, Jacob, dude. You know what I mean? Man, you don't even know. And these are, old school notes. How long have I had these notes for? You want them? For a while. For a while. I've been refining them over and over, huh? As time goes on. But I've been teaching out of this since, I was hitting the streets at least 3 years ago. I was hitting up the hill and, you know, tearing it up there.
You remember Tom? A drunk white man. Always performed an LV with Swan. He died.
Dang. People just dying left and right, Yashar. People dying left and right. This is my Nakash thing. But yeah, I got a bunch of lessons, man. I got one on keeping the law, one on homosexuality, one on being humble. Everyone yesterday was I like how everybody has always yelling at me for being humble, to humble down, when I literally have a lesson on being humble. You guys want some quick precepts? Go check out Proverbs 22 and 4, 2 Chronicles 7:14, Proverbs 16:19, Proverbs 29:23, Isaiah 2:11 through 12, Proverbs 15:33, Dan 4 and 3:37, Psalms 138 and 6, Proverbs 3 and 34. Then you could go to the Apocrypha and check out Ecclesiasticus or Ben Sirach 2:17 through 18, 13:18, 7:17, 35 and 17, also 3 and 19. But what do I know about being humble, right? Yeah. All right, but anyway. Chasing is good. I got a thing on chastity. Fear. The fear lesson I was working on was 1,000,000 miles long, you know. But these are my kind of my favorite ones or whatever. I got one on truth. repentance, trusting in the Most High Yahweh. And these are like all extensive, broken down, like, you know what I mean? Like, I got one on judgment for everybody that's like all scared of, you know. Oh, and then I have like my end times one that I used to read out of and stuff. Street teachings is when I used to go out in the streets. These are like my favorite ones. I got one on Leviathan and Behemoth. Angels and Holidays. Oh, that's one I guess we could like bust out one of these days. Sabbaths of Time. You guys don't even know about this. Shit. Anyway, Name of the Most High. This thing is a freaking monster of a lesson. Like, I just have this written down, but damn, you know, damn. There's the Strong Tower one, you know, Proverbs 18:10. Let's see. Psalms 148:13. Name is to be praised, and alone is excellent. So his name alone is excellent. You have to praise his name for all those people that are scared to, like, you know, say his name or whatever. Let's see. Angels are spirits. Most High is ministers of flame and fire. This is going to be a part of that angels lesson. But anyway, been working on it, so hang in with that one. I also got another lesson on what happens after you die. Shout out to Brother Dan. Shalakak. I'm trying to get that one pumped out for you, man. I know, man. You know what I'm saying, but you know, there's a time for everything right now. My time was to fight the physical battle, like with you know, the bullshit of life things. You know how it goes, man. Shit just starts happening, and then it snowballs, and you gotta fix it. And you know how it is. But I'm back. You know, just letting you know I'm doing work all day, man. I got notes on notes. I got stuff going. But I felt bad for, you know, I felt like I had to feed the flock, you know, unlike other people. But anyway, so I decided that maybe we should bust out some Masonic and Occult Illustrated. Everybody knows what this is. I use this all the time. If you don't know, now you know. Okay, so we're going to talk about rings, okay? But more specifically, look, okay, so you know how Lexwell wears that thumb ring? I don't know if you got. Okay, first of all, so we're gonna talk about rings. The main topic is wedding rings. That's right. I'm attacking the wedding ring tonight. I'm attacking the ritual of marriage, they say, right? And then we're gonna give the actual what it is according to Yahweh. So anyway, so let's see. Okay. So the heart finger. Okay, so anyway, so let's just get it. But anyways, just know that's why, you know, Lexwell wears the thumb rings, because it's some Masonic shit. But anyways, we're not on that. We're on this. So let's go. Okay, so we're on page 301, and it starts off with our phallic heritage. Now, mind you, like I said, Masonic and Occult Illustrated, Dr. Kathy Barnes. Okay, some Christian lady, but whatever. Okay, so anyways, it says, our phallic heritage says this about the ring, okay? So this is like some phallic book, you know? And it says, the wedding ring, customarily put on during marriage ceremony and worn continuously thereafter, had a phallic origin. Uh-oh. So putting on them wedding rings is phallic origins. In the Buddhistic hand sign of blessing, the thumb and index fingers are joined at the tips, forming a circle symbolizing the yoni, which is just a bafi, you know? Throwing up the bafi, the 666. While the other three fingers, I would demonstrate, but, you know, motherfuckers be all, Illuminati, whatever. But anyways, tell Illuminati about my leaky fucking roof. Fucking bastards. Anyways, but while the other three fingers, right, the middle, the ring, and the little fingers, okay, are extended, symbolizing the male genital triad. So really, that's what the three. So this is what it is, man. When you throw up a bafi, it represents the male genital triad. So you're just throwing up some balls and a dick and a butthole and, like, you know what I mean? You're just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just being gay, dude. Like, I'm sorry, it is what it is, you know. This is the Night Watch, by the way. Ashamawara, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Crazy things might get said right now. It's no holds barred, you know what I'm saying? We just let it fly.
Let fly.
Whatever comes, you know. Spirit of Yahweh. See, that's the beauty, man. See, I understand. See, and we've understood this for a while, right? You want to hold on. Let me take a second to explain something. So, you know how, okay, let me take it off the books. This shit's like all evil and shit. But anyways, sorry for my dusty ass, nasty page, whatever. But anyway, whatever, anybody can talk all the shit they want. I don't really care anymore. But anyways, so, you know, back in the day, even when we were still in the Christ spell, you know, we still understood the power of prayer and fasting. You know what I'm saying? Like what do we always used to say, man? We always used to say that if you fasted, right, the body gets weaker, but the soul
the spirit gets stronger.
See? And like and we notice that, you know what I'm saying, because you get weaker in the body, and you know, because it sucks. Like, don't get me wrong, like you haven't eaten in a minute or some shit, you know what I'm saying? You get them stomach pains, those initial like acid stomach, you know, reflux shit. You know, we know about the heartburn, bro.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
yes, I do. Constant issue.
Yeah. So,
don't eat spicy foods.
I know, right?
Do not eat spicy food.
Or at least to that extent, that you did.
Don't eat them all the time. Don't eat them every meal.
Did you learn your lesson on that one? Or?
Meal, but don't eat it every time.
Just a little personal advice from some experience.
Yes.
But
it will save you a lot of pain.
Yeah, for sure. And like, bro, okay, so check it. So, you know, it does, and it sucks. You know, you get the stomach acid or whatever. You kind of go through your little cramps, but after you get over that, like, initial I want to kill myself, my life sucks phase.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's really not that bad.
One meal a day, man.
I know, right? It really isn't that bad. Like, that's what we're on now. And it ain't, you know, we're functioning normal. But then even fasting as in like a whole, because we fast during the day, basically, you know what I'm saying? So, like, we eat at night, you know? So, but, or in the evening and the night, you know what I'm saying? And then maybe, you know, so, and then during the day, we usually fast. We usually don't eat too much, maybe like a little snack or something, a lot of water and stuff, you know? But, you know, but even when you, like, even for a couple of days, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember, you know, I used to do that a lot more back in the day, actually, than I do now. Maybe I should try fasting every once in a while now, just to kind of, you know.
Fucking Laban fucking would be, he'd be like, I'm dying.
I know. That's what happens.
I haven't eaten all day either, but I don't feel like I'm dying.
But that's what happens in your fucking Esau, son. You fucking, that shit just, you just don't have that same, you know, it's harder, bro. It's harder when you know.
You have your own battery.
Yeah, you have your own. But yeah, we've the struggles. We've seen people struggle. It's crazy. And that's how you notice, man. That's how you notice who's more. Like, I guess, you know, and I don't want to like say nothing like crazy or whatever, but I guess it like, but really, like, for real, dude, like, really think about it. Like, you could tell who's actually more pure Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? And who has an easier time because, like, and who's really for Yahweh, man, because, like, you won't have a hard time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you'll have the hard time of, like, Satan trying to keep your ass down from keeping commandments and Esau just trying to get at you. Yeah. But that's just, you know, it is what it is.
That's this world.
But your drive to, like, do the commandments, man, it ain't no big deal, you know what I'm saying? To, like, do some shit, you know?
It's simple. It's not that hard to keep them, man.
No, it really isn't, dude. What makes it hard is Esau keeping us down to where we can't keep, like, where he doesn't let us keep, like, we can't be taking no sacrifices and shit, but then that's a punishment that's like time out for us, you know? Yeah. We should all be viewing that as like a punishment. That's what's messed up, bro. You got all these New Testament cats, right? You got all these New Testament cats running around like mocking us because we can't go do sacrifices. Because we're like, hey, your homie, you know, your Christ dude wasn't the last sacrifice. All you have to do is go read Ezekiel, the 40th chapters. You know? and that automatically just shows you that we're going to be doing more sacrifices. So you call them out, and then they'll try to like do that buck dance where they're like, oh, you know, it's only the sin sacrifices, you know, that were done away with. And then that's when you hit them with like at least a dozen references to sin sacrifices in Ezekiel 40. And then you go hit them with their own book in Hebrews, and you show them that it says in their own book that Christ was a sacrifice once and for all. And we're going to get that in another time. But I'm going to break down the book of Hebrews, man. I hate that damn book. But I do, dude. It talks so much shit about the Levitical priesthood and like the sacrifices and shit. That's like such an insult to me. Like, bro, that's like such a bad insult. Like, people talking shit about Levi and like the Levitical priesthood and like the sacrifices that really, and like the law, that like really pisses me off. And then they go a step further and start blaspheming Yahweh, and that just makes me want to like pick up a brick and start tossing. But you know, fuck us, right?
Let me cut your head off.
I know, right? I know, right? Well,
let me take your head.
I know, right? Just you know, come on, man.
You won't feel it.
Then brothers shrink that shit down in South America, bro. But I know, right? That's some hardcore shit. That's freaking heavy, dude. They went off. But yeah, so anyway, like, you know, I don't know, man. It's just it's always a fine line with everything. Like, I don't know.
Something.
Yeah, it is. It is. No matter how much you try to explain shit, no matter how much you try to do things. But you know. But anyway, that's so. Anyways, the sacrifices. So it. Sorry, I just had to like. So many things race through your minds when you think about shit, you know. But anyway, those damn sacrifices, you know. So and really, we should be seeing that, like, because Yahweh told us that He was going to take it away from us in Hosea. In fact, let's get that real fast for all those that don't know, or maybe you haven't seen it or whatever. And you know, and you know, it's just read to read, right? You know, we love scriptures just to read sometimes, you know. Love to hear the Yahweh's words. But so we go hit up Hosea, the 3rd chapter, right? Hold on. Okay, so we got Hosea 3 and 4. What does it say? Just for all you that know, I know I'm weird and whatever, and this is kind of but just to let you know, like, every time you see pink on my shit, it means like future prophecy. Green means like the subject and title. I don't know. I have this weird thing. But anyway, for many days the children of Yashar'al will sit with no king, no officer, no sacrifice. Okay, so look, we don't have a king, we don't have officers. Okay, the elders, the 70 elders. You know what I'm saying? We got no sacrifices, no pillars. We ain't got no Yakin and Boaz. We don't got no ephod. Okay, we don't got the teraphims. Okay, we don't got. And it says afterwards. What does it say? Afterwards, the children of Yashar'al will return and seek out Yahweh their power and Dawad their king, man. It's all about King Dawad, man. I don't know what y'all don't get. And they will tremble. Well, it's not about him, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as the kingship go, dude, it only goes to David, man. I'm sorry, but that's just how it goes, man. No Christ, no other people, no. Dawad. Like, go look up the precepts. Go pull up David and the concordance. And look at all the prophets. Anyways, they will tremble for Yahweh and for His goodness in the end of days. For in the end of days, so this is what's happening now. We're trembling for His goodness. We're trembling, you know, for Him and His goodness. And it's a punishment. We should be seeing this as like a punishment. It shouldn't be like oh, hey, yeah, we don't have to take sacrifices, and we don't have to do this, and we don't have to do that. Nah, man, it should be like, damn, man, you know, I really wish I could go take a sacrifice, you know, a free will offering to Yahweh, and, you know, do this, but we can't, you know. Oh man, I wish we could, you know, assemble at Jerusalem for the Passover, and, you know, for the 3 holy feasts, the 3 feasts that all men, you know, are supposed to show up to. You know, we can't do that. We can't do shit, dude. That sucks, man. Like, it's like I want to go to the temple.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go take sacrifices. I would, and it would be such an honor to even do the sacrifices, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
shit, it would be an honor just to
chop wood and draw water for the shit, man. Yeah, just anything that has to do with the temple, man. Like, you know, that's where Yahweh placed His name, dude. Don't you want to be where Yahweh placed His name? That's where I want to be, dude.
Anywhere near it, would probably
right?
The pressure.
Oh man,
the atmosphere of that whole area would be totally
different, man. You would have that. Oh man, it's such a holy place, dude. You wouldn't
Probably
even.
be the freshest air around.
Oh, right. It's like taste the air. Taste
That's
all
sweet.
Friday shit, man. But yeah, for real though. Seriously, like But anyway, sorry to go off on a big old thing, but I just had to reiterate that it's like a punishment to not have these things, and these dudes mock us. You know what I'm saying? Like these New Testament people mock so-called Old Testament Hebrews, right? They mock us because we can't do sacrifices. When it's like, bro, you guys should be lamenting for that, not mocking it. Like that's why Yahweh said He's gonna mock you. That's why He says He's gonna mock you. In fact, let's get that too. Shit, we might as well. We're right here, right? Shit. Let's hear the word. Make all men liars, right? I'll take that, you know what I'm saying? I'll admit that. The New Testament, you guys had a little nice little saying there when you said, if you're going to go, let's go to the words of Yahweh because it makes all men liars. Yeah, it makes you New Testament cats like the ultimate liars, right? So check this out. We're going to go to Proverbs 1. It's one of my favorite chapters, honestly. Proverbs 1, and what does it say? Oh, I love it. Look. Okay. Okay, so let's get at 21. Okay, hold on. No, let's start at 23. Oh, man, the simpletons one. Okay, let's start at 22. How long, O simpletons, will you love folly? Right? And that's in the KJVs, you got the, because I'm coming out the stones, slack. Damn it. Hold on. This paper's like sliding everywhere and freaking pissing me off. Alright. Oh man. Slack. Technical difficulties. It happens. Alright. Here we go. Anyway. So back at it. Okay, so this in the KJVs, dude, this is where you get, okay, so like just to get it again, this is the Stones edition Tanakh. You know what I'm saying? This is my favorite sword out of all the swords. I also like the JPS. I fucks with the J-Pizzle, but the Stones is just, you can't beat the Stones. I don't know what it, can't do it. Man. Can't do it. You just... In due time, there's a time for everything, right? Okay, it's all good. It's patience, Oh, okay, so anyway. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm just gonna keep going. Okay, so in the KJV, it says, how long will you fools, or you simple ones love simplicity? So it's like the same thing, folly, man. You know what I'm saying? That which is not right. That it's wrongdoing. Scoffers, okay, scoffers, motherfucking damn bastards. Scoffers covet. You know what I'm saying? Look, they covet mockery for themselves, and fools hate knowledge. So look, they covet mockery for themselves. So they love to mock, man. You know what I'm saying? What I was just saying? I'm sorry to say that. But you know what it is. They mock these dudes. These New Testament cats mock the shit out of Yahweh's words, and that's blasphemy. And it says, and fools hate knowledge, and all these people hate knowledge. Like I got people talking smack because I have books, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna hate for someone reading a book?
Literature.
Look at how you gonna hate on someone reading. Like what? That what have I said that's wrong? If I say something wrong, point it out. And if I'm wrong and you can prove it to me with 2 or 3 witnesses showing the words of Yahweh, then I'll repent. But until then, how about y'all sit down and shut the hell up? Because the words of Yahweh must be spoken, man. And I don't know why motherfuckers be hating on me just because I expose these devils. And because I have this knowledge, man. Fools despise knowledge, dude. Just straight up. Look, even 1 and 7. This is one of my favorite verses. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but foolish ones scorn wisdom and discipline. So not only do you scorn wisdom, but you scorn discipline too. So you hate knowledge, you hate wisdom, you hate discipline. What does it say? Return to my reproof. Oh, people hate the reproof, don't they? Behold, I will express my spirit to you. See that? And people get mad. People get mad because I read the words of Yahweh, bro, and they get mad because... And what does it do? I say it ain't me. It ain't me. I don't know why motherfuckers hate me. Okay, you can hate me all you want, bro, but the problem is like, the thing is I'm speaking the words of Yahweh.
I'm reading.
Yeah, I'm reading, dude. You got... Bro, I don't have the thing pointed at myself while I'm reading. I'm not freaking, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could see the words for your damn self. What, do I have to have someone else come and freaking read it, or what? Do you guys, like, I had to, bro, remember that one lady told me that she hated my voice when we used to go street teach up at Uptown? So that fucking lady, dude. But yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it, dude? What? Okay, everybody has a personal problem with me, whatever, dude. But I'm just saying, like, what am I saying that's wrong? What am I saying that's wrong? You guys have yet, no one has yet to freaking prove, what, dude, what do you people want? So check it out. Because I'm just trying to express Yahweh's spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? He says he's going to express it to you. Well, how's he going to express it to you? You guys don't read. Someone's got to read it for you. Obviously, that's why I have to do what I'm doing now. I will make my words known to you. How? You know what I'm saying? But because I have called you and you refused, because I have stretched forth my hand and no one listened. So these are for all the people that are not listening to Yahweh. These are for all the people that refuse to come back. For all the people that scoff and hate knowledge and wisdom and talk smack and do all that crap, okay? It's for you guys, okay? Listen up. It says what? It says, no one listened, and you rejected my every counsel and desired not my reproof. That's y'all's problem, man. You despise. You despise. You reject his counsels, man. You don't desire his reproof. What else? I too will laugh at your misfortune. What? Yeah, that's right. The Most High is going to laugh. He's going to laugh at you. Right? That means Yahweh is funny. He's funny, dude. I don't know what you guys don't get about that. He's like the ultimate funny guy. Look at this. He's going to laugh at your misfortune. And he will mock you when your dread arrives, man. You know what I'm saying? He's going to mock you. You're mocking here. You're mocking now. But he's going to be mocking you. That's awesome. I can just see, man, Most High talk, man. That's, yeah. Anyway, when your fear arrives as sudden darkness, and misfortune comes like a storm, when affliction and oppression come upon you, then they will call me, but I will not answer. They will search for me, but they will not find me. And that's what's going to happen, man. All you New Testament cats, all you Islam cat, anybody that's not Yahweh Tzaba'awat Akkad, okay? Which is Yahweh, the Master of Legions, who is one. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not with it, man, then this is for you, you know? It says what? But he who listens to me will dwell securely and will be undisturbed by fear of evil, man. You know? What is your problems with this, man? What do you guys have such a damn problem with this? Okay, so look, I think we have some precepts. Let's get Proverbs 28:9. So we got Proverbs 28:9. Sorry, I know this is a little off the thing, but you know, look, because what happens if one turns aside his ear from hearing the Torah, the Torah, his prayer too will be considered an abomination. So when you pray to Yahweh, when you reject his Torah, when you're on that Christ, when you're on that idol, when you read a Greek book and you try to pray to Yahweh, he ain't gonna listen to you. That shit's an abomination. Do you know what the word for abomination is? Look. It's Abath. Okay? Watch. Where's that? Where's that damn word? Ah! Oh, no. Where's that? Where are we at? We're on verse... Oh, we're on 9. Oh, okay, that's why. Where's that? Oh, it says Tawab. Tawab is the same thing. Tawa'abath. Yeah. But anyways, I've gone through it before. Everybody knows what's up. But anyways, it's an abomination, man. And he laughs at you, he mocks you, he scorns you. He will laugh at your misfortune. In fact, we could get another one. Isaiah, let's see. Let's get Isaiah 1:15. Hold up. Slot. Try not. Hold on, let me put this. Okay. Slot. Isaiah 1:15. Let's get a precept for that again. What does it say? When you spread your hands in prayer, I will hide my eyes from you. Even if you were to intensify your prayer, I will not listen. Your hands are replete with blood. And then this is a commandment. This is why I have blue as commandments, because, you know, the blue, the turquoise that you're supposed to have in your tzitzit, you know what I'm saying? That's, you know. Wash yourselves, purify yourselves, you know what I'm saying? Remove the evil of your deeds. So this wash and purify yourselves means to pass from the alam to the hayakal, man. You have to pass through that. Where's my damn... Oh, where's my notebook? Where's my temple, man? Damn it! I don't know where I have put my notebook. Oh, shit, there it is. Wait, no. Oh, what a shame. Hold on, I think I have one. It's my old one, and it's kind of like a jacked drawing, but, you know, you'll get the point. I know, it's funny looking, whatever. But anyways, so this is just... Okay, you gotta pass over. You gotta pass over the sea of bronze, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta pass to the hayakal. You gotta go from the alam to the hayakal. You gotta purify yourselves, wash yourselves, make you clean. Anytime the priests would go into the temple, they had to wash themselves, and every time they come out, they had to wash themselves. It's another story, though. And it says what? Remove the evil of your deeds from before my eyes. Cease doing evil. Learn to do good and seek justice. Vindicate the victim. Render justice to the orphan and take up the grievance of the widow. And then he even says, come now, let us reason together, says Yahweh. If your sins are like scarlet, they will become as white as snow. If they become red as crimson, they will become white as wool. If you are willing and obey, you will eat the goodness of the land. So if you're willing and you obey Yahweh, he will rain the early and latter rains from, you know, the early knowledge and the later knowledge from the heavens, right? From him, and it'll rain on this dry, crusty ground, and you will sprout forth, and you will eat. Then you will be able to offer the first fruits and eat the fruit of the land. So what does it say? But if you refuse and rebel, you will be devoured by the sword, for the mouth of Yahweh has spoken. And who's the sword, man? The sword's Esau. And if you haven't seen, go check out my series, the Serpent Power series, man. Go check out the whole thing, breaking down the Kundalini. Go check that out if you haven't seen that. The one that you want to check out, though, is the red snakes, man. The red serpent, the red snakes. I break it down. The Hebrew show you the fact that whenever you mess up, he sends Esau to put a foot in your ass, basically. Okay, so now we're going to go to 59:3. We're going to go Isaiah 59:3, get a last precept for this, and then we'll go back to the subject at hand. Sorry I tailed off. But, you know, it happens. What does it say? For your palms are stained with blood, your fingers with iniquity. Your lips speak falsehood, and your tongues utter wickedness. And this is for everybody, man. This is for everybody that be speaking against Yahweh's words, man. That don't be speaking about Yahweh's Awatakat, man. That don't be teaching his words the right way. Hands are full of blood, man. Iniquity, man. Nothing but wickedness. No one calls out in righteousness, and no one is judged truthfully. Trusting in emptiness and speaking vanity. Conceiving wrongdoing and giving birth to wickedness. See, you're not giving birth to righteous thoughts. You know what I'm saying, in your mind? You're not birthing righteousness in your mind. You're birthing wickedness, man. They hatch adder's eggs, right? And they weave a spider's webs, man. So that's nasty, bro. Why would you want spider's webs, yo?
In your brain.
You know what I'm saying? Spider's webs and adder's eggs. You dwell amongst the spiders and the snakes? Hell nah. Whoever eats of their eggs will die. When the eggs are squeezed, a viper is hatched, and their web will not become a garment. And people, so see, that's the thing, is that they think that they're clothing themselves with garments, you know what I'm saying? And this is even kind of like a shout out to the camps. To like ISUPK and GMS and all these fools, man, they dress in their garments, you know what I'm saying? It might mainly ISUPK, because they're the ones that everybody clowns the most, you know what I'm saying, with their what do they call it, the They try to go to Maccabees. They try to justify their dress in Maccabees because it says that the men were dressed in warlike apparel. You know what I'm saying? But really, that garment is symbolically, you're dressing on the outward appearance. Yeah, you're trying to act like you worship in the Most High. That's the same thing with that scripture where he says, they draw near to me with their mouths, but their hearts are far from me. You know what I'm saying? So like, they put on this outward apparel and they act like they're putting on this. They put on that green garment of Christ. They say his body was green. That he wore a green suit. So like that's what they clothed themselves with. Really, they're clothing themselves with the green Christ, with the green garment. When really it's just spider webs. They're putting on spider webs, and instead of eating chicken eggs, they're eating vipers. They're going to open up the egg, and a viper's popping out. I'm going to bite them. And it says people will not clothe themselves with their work. Their work is the work of wickedness, and of corruption an act of corruption is in their palms, right? And what's in your palms? How do you corrupt with your palms, bro? What do you have in your palm? What did Yahweh say? You're always written. You're written on my palms. What does he mean by that? He doesn't literally have us written on his palm. What do you mean by that? He writes down the book of remembrance, man. The Safar Zakarawan. And what is that? The Safar Zakarawan is the book of life, man. The book of remembrance that Yahweh writes down. There's an angel that walks by everybody writing down all your stuff. Yeah. Bet you feel uncomfortable now, right? And we'll prove that. We'll get that in the knock. But so everything you do is written down, man. That's why Yahweh says that you're bloodstained. Your rap sheet's huge. That's why you got to repent, so that Yahweh will blot out your transgressions, so that all that's left there is righteousness. And don't turn back to your sins, and don't be messing up and going back to wickedness and stuff, because then all that unrighteousness is counted as nothing. Then he blots that out. You know what I'm saying? So like you gotta just follow Yahweh, man, and like it says that your act of wickedness is in your palms, and what's in your palms? A Greek book of lies. A Greek book of lies that is written by the Romans. Their feet run to evil. They rush to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of wickedness, plunder, and calamity are in their roads. And that's all they talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially the camps like ICPK and GMS and stuff, they're going running around talking about how they're going to go around killing people and raping people and taking their shit and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but wickedness in their minds. All they want to do is go run and shed innocent blood. They know not the way of peace, and there is no justice in their circuits. They have made their paths crooked. All who walk them do not know peace. So they don't know peace, man. There ain't no peace, bro. I don't know why anybody fucking talking about no peace. But anyways, let's get back to the topic at hand. Now that we got some Torah out of the way, I just want to kind of read some stuff. It's always good to read. Okay, so check it. We're going back to the phallics, right? Right. What does it say? We're back in the Masonic Occult Illustrated, Dr. Kathy Barnes. We were reading about wedding rings, right? What does it say? It says that that they're throwing up when they. Oh, were you in the room for this? That when they throw, you know how they throw up the 666 Bothy? Yeah. That really what they're doing, like this one. Yeah. What they're doing is throwing. It's like a ball. It's balls and penis. It's like a triple penis ball thing. Yeah, it's like Kundalini shit. Yeah, that's nasty. It's called the General Triad. When they're sword fighting or what? When the ring is placed on the ring finger, the penis symbolized. So when you place in the ring on the ring finger, basically you're putting a vagina on a penis. Yeah.
Which is what they did from the strip club when they made them slide around the pole.
Yeah, like that's a whole nother thing too. That whole strip dancing that's an ancient phallic. That's what it is. They're dancing on a big old penis. It goes back to ancient. They used to do that in Babylon. And it says it symbolizes the union of the male and the female. Hence, through this symbolism, the wedding ring means marriage or union. So basically, that's what you're doing when you're putting on the rings. You're symbolizing the fact of oh, how cute, right? You're symbolizing the fact of that you're doing sex in front of everybody, I guess you could say. Occultist and Mason Manly Palmer Hall, right? Manly P. Hall. He asserts the wedding ring originally was intended to imply that in the nature of the one who wrote it, the state of equilibrium and completion has been attained. This plain band of gold therefore bore witness of the union of the higher self of God with the lower self of nature, and the ceremony consummating this indissoluble blending of divinity and humanity into one nature of the initiated mystic constituted the hermetic marriage of the mysteries. So in plain terms, basically it's the ritual that they used to do in the mystery schools. They put a ring on your finger to show that you are initiated, that you are in the high, you blended your higher self and lower self through masonry, not in righteousness, like what the Torah temporal tabernacle man teaches you of Ezekiel 43, 10 through 12. No. They do it using what? Hermeticism. They even just said the hermetic marriage. They use witchcraft and sorcery. And then when you get to a certain level, they put certain rings. And then there's like different, like they have wooden rings. And then they have like bronze ones, metal ones, you know what I'm saying? Then they have the silver and gold. And then they have platinum, you know what I'm saying? The different rings mean different ranks. And that's what you become a mystic, you know what I'm saying? And you become, you take part in the hermetic marriage. More about the wedding ring can be found in the occult sciences that we find. It may be pointed out the wedding rings are a remnant of the magic rings. They are worn on the ring finger because in chiromancy, that finger corresponds to the heart. The husband will be master in the home if, on placing on his wife's finger, he is careful to push it right down. So basically, that's what it symbolizes, that you will be dominant over your woman if you push it all the way down and you put it on there and you do the hermetic marriage. And chiromancy, they say that ring, that finger, corresponds to the heart. They say that the vein goes back to that heart, that's where the main vein is, which we know it's not. According to the pictorial history of magic and the supernatural, chiromancy is based on the Kabbalah. So wedding rings is Kabbalah. Also, chiromancy is another name for palmistry. This is a form of divination. For instance, the Dictionary of Mysticism states, quote, chiromancy, the art of divination, from the shape of the hand and fingers and the lines and other markings which appear on them. So basically, palm reading. The World Book Encyclopedia indicates under palmistry, it is something called chiromancy. It is a combination of astrology and hand reading. See also fortune telling. So basically, that's what it is. You're doing chiromancy. You're doing palm reading. It's a form of palm reading. You know what I'm saying? It's witchcraft, yep. Yeah, it's you know what I'm saying? It's, with this ring, I will. No, with this ring, you now become a part of the freaking Hermetic Order, home slice. The Booty Hole Club. The Kundi Club. Okay, so now we're going to hit up the Torah. And now, first let's hit up the... Actually, watch. Hold on 1 second. We're going to hit the dictionary real fast. Because even the damn dictionary will freaking tell you this shit. Okay. Here we go. Oh, hold on 1 second. Slot. You want it done? Okay, so now we're in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary, okay? Okay, so now we're going to go check out marriage. You can come in here. This is the full-size edition. I would suggest getting the full-size edition. If you only have the pocket edition, that'll do, but they leave a lot of stuff out. Okay. So we're going to go to marriage and see what this has to say. Marriage is an intimate personal union to which a man and woman consent, consummated and continuously nourished by sexual intercourse, and perfected in a lifelong partnership of mutual love and commitment. So basically, you're going to learn that marriage is sex. Sorry, but that's what it is. It is also a social institution regulated by the word of Yahweh and by the laws of the customs which a society develops and safeguards, and then they go off trying to get you on society and customs and shit. Marriage is an order of creation. The Creator made man and woman, displaying his full image only as both man and woman. Each is made for the other, their essential natures being complementary and brought into oneness in marriage. Okay, marriage is a sacrament of human society. Husband and wife share a perpetual blah blah blah. Let's get it. Okay, so look, Scripture itself says little about the purpose of marriage. The earliest creation narrative suggests unitive purpose, one flesh, while the second creative narrative suggests procreative, be fruitful and multiply. So there's two reasons, to be one flesh and then to multiply. New Testament's crap. In the Old Testament, the procreative purpose is addressed once to mankind generally, 3 times to the patriarchs Noah and Jacob. This does not imply the procreative purpose is the chief end, though. Yeah, Jesus, Paul, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. Christ, witness, blah, blah, blah. Christian marriage, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It says, man is unique in that he can conceive of the future and can relate the present of the future even to the eternal. He lives in terms of a moral structure and with meaningful interpersonal relations. He's the only creature that can have marriage instead of mating, for marriage involves commitment for the future and for the confidence of permanence. Man also discerns his own loneliness and incompleteness, Genesis 2:18, and the possibility of the complementary nature of marriage, husband and wife, each fulfilling that which is lacking in the other. So you're supposed to, have lacking, whatever. You're supposed to help each other out. The woman is made to make a helpmeet for man, Fulfillment, sexual fulfillment. Sex is holy, being creation of and gift of God. It is, but the Most High. It is fulfilled only as regulated by the law of the Most High in marriage. Man and woman were created to complement each other, either physically as in other ways, and to share together in Most High's creative process. Man alone can make sex moral, giving it a non-biological meaning, and making it creative of personal and spiritual values. Thus, man makes sex a function of the whole personality, combining it with love and fidelity. While sexuality alone permits the establishment of a relationship which is procreative, a couple's most high-centered union permits them to establish a spiritually creative relationship through their sexuality. Human sexuality then has a dual purpose of communion and reproduction. See, again, shows you that's the purpose of marriage, communion and reproduction. The exclusive sexual relation between husband and wife points to the exclusive commitment of total responsibility for each other. Sexual intercourse is an act of the whole self, a personal encounter. Spiritually, the act itself must be offered to the Most High in intention, and in thanksgiving, husband and wife acknowledge that the Most High is the author of their love. Sexual intimacy affords husband and wife as a medium for mutual disclosures, the senses becoming a channel of communication for all that lies too deep for utterance and yet must somehow be told in order to fulfill the total mutuality of marriage. So basically, you have someone to share everything with. You know what I'm saying? This is to help you guys out for both people. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of getting this so people can kind of get what really it's about. It says such intercourse is pleasurable not merely because there is sensual gratification, but because of what it expresses of the joy of oneness of husband and wife, while the sense of independence is diminished. That of individuality is fulfilled. The sexual communion speaks of a pervading possessiveness, each partner offering a precious gift to the other, which has been exclusively preserved for that one alone. But what they don't tell you is they tell you though is that the multiple marriages, a man is allowed to have multiple wives, but between that man and that wife alone. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, the sexual union is sacramental in the sense that it is an outward sign of an inner commitment of love, which is recognized as a gift from the Most High. The union is more than physical, for from it emerges the spiritual gift of knowledge, and it is not a mere fact of nature. Hence, man is not in bondage to it. Rather, so you're not in bondage to it, so that's a bunch of nonsense. People just let that control them. Rather, sex is a divine gift within a divine vocation. Marriage, so it's even a job almost. And as such, it is subject to man's freedom and moral responsibility towards the Most High and Giver. Sexual intercourse is to be employed according to the purpose of the giver. Such fulfillment is both the need and the right of the husband and the wife. So they try to quote the New Testament. It must be part of loving the other for what one is in himself, and for what their union means. It is exclusiveness and permanence. It is creative relationship through which a couple express the whole meaning and quality of their marriage. You know what I'm saying? So it's look, and the name tell you, love and fidelity. Marriage is the highest fulfillment of human friendship, filling every ideal of human intimacy and mutuality and loyalty. Sex and parenthood can both enrich marriage, neither is capable of sustaining marriage. Love alone gives meaning and inward validity to marriage and guarantees its integrity. Fidelity, not as an expression of obligation, but as an element of love, is necessary to successful marriage, right? So it's all about helping each other out, man. It's all about being a friend. That's like the closest friend that you have. You know what I'm saying? Basically, that's what it is. The Most High allowed you to have this friend that you can just be like the closest possible. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so see, equality of the wife is indicated in the creation narrative where she is called a helpmeet. By contrast, the subordinate of the wife inappropriate as punishment for initiative in the original transgression, right? Genesis 3:16. So basically, that's what helped to put her under subjection of Adam, was the fact that she sinned. This subordination is that of responsibility and subsequently of authority. It is not that of compulsion or of fear, and originates in her freedom and in reciprocal love for her husband. She is subject to her husband as he himself is subject to God, and blah, 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 Christ God. Let's see. See, and then they try to pass off monogamy, which is crap. Let's see. Let's see. There's some stuff on divorce, but we're gonna get some of that anyways. But anyways, we're gonna just let you know that it's so that's like the Donovan breakdown, like a little marriage and stuff. So let's get the Torah. So the first instance where you see really someone getting married is in Genesis, which really lets you know what marriage kind of constitutes. Which is sex. That's what really solidifies, you know what I mean? That's what kind of like stamps it, I guess you could say. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go to 24. Genesis 24 and 67. And Isaac brought her into... Okay, so this is where he met Rebekah, right? And it says, Isaac brought her into the tent of Sarah, his mother. He married Rebekah. She became his wife. So he brought her into the tent and he married her. She became his wife and he loved her. Thus was Isaac consoled after his mother. It says nothing about no exchanging of rings or none of that stuff. He said he just took her into her tent and he married her. What do you think that means, man? You know what I'm saying? But there is some type of, I guess you could say ritual, but it's a custom. There is a custom that we Hebrews do though during marriage. One thing is a feast. We hold feasts, and another is, let's see, I guess you could say, it's called the exchange of the tokens of virginity. We're going to get that law now. But first I wanted to get, but anyways, this is the first instance of someone taking like a wife, but like if you go to the beginning, in Genesis, like how I was saying in the Zondervan, if you go to Genesis 2 and 23, what does it say? And man said, this time it is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This will be called woman, for from man she was taken. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and cling to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Showing that when you do have sex with a woman, you become one flesh, man. That's getting married. And when you get married, you become one flesh. So you are then one person. You should be one in mind and in spirit, meaning you are functioning with each other, helping each other out, pushing each other. Help meet, you know what I'm saying? Help meet. Serving Yahweh in righteousness. Okay, so now we're going to get another one, just to show you that it goes for family too, though. It ain't just for marriage. Bone and bone, flesh and flesh is used for family too, so it's not like, you know what I'm saying, not some crazy thing. Like, okay, so check it out. We're going to go now to, let's go to Genesis 29 and 14. And it says, and Laban said to him, this is Laban talking to Jacob, and he says, and Laban said to him, nevertheless, you are my flesh and blood. And he stayed with him a month's time. So Jacob stayed with him. He says, you are my flesh and blood. And if you look in the King James, it says bone and flesh. So he says flesh and bone. Flesh and blood, right? It's flesh and bone. You're the same thing. You're related, right? It just means you're related. You're the same person. So basically, because your wife's not related to you. You know what I'm saying? Your wife's not you know, your cousin or your sister or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Just like a real close personal, like one of the marriages that's not allowed. So let's just say like your sister, she's not your sister. You know what I'm saying? You're not blood, like right immediate family. So you're not related. You know what I'm saying? So when you get married, basically what it's saying is you become related. You're the same person. Now because she's basically a part of your family now. She's your family now. She's you now. She's your part. She basically got like adopted, but like spiritually, she's like the same. I hope it's making sense. So now we go to... Oh, and then I guess we could get one more reference in 2 Samuel 5 and 11. They call David their bone and their flesh. Okay, 2 Samuel 5 and 1. And it says... And all the tribes of Yasharal came to Dawad and Hebron and spoke, saying, Behold, we are your bone and your flesh. So this is all the tribes. And they're saying to Dawad, we are your bone and your flesh. And that's because we all come from Jacob or Yaquab, who is Yasharal. Okay? So this is what it's saying. So it can also mean as we're tribes. We're bone and flesh, man. You know what I'm saying? All you Akiam, Akawath, you know what I'm saying? Akawath, you brothers and sisters, man, you're my bone and my flesh. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes even a more personal level with the family. And then it goes even more personal level with the wife. It gets sifted, you know what I'm saying? It's like the Most High shows favorites. And it gets more and more personal, more and more refined. Well, that's the same thing. You know, you have your outer family. You know what I'm saying? We're all from man. We're all from Noah. So we're all bone and flesh with each other. But then it goes further down to we're all Sham. We're all Shammai. So since we're all Shammai, then we're all bone and flesh from Shammai. But then we're from Abar. We're Abarai, or Hebrews, Abarai. So since we're Abarai, then that means we're bone and flesh like that. And then from Abarai, we're sons of Yaquab, you know what I'm saying? So we're bone and flesh Yaquab, and then it goes farther down to the 12 tribes, and then it goes farther down to the certain families of the 12 tribes, and then it goes, you know what I'm saying? So it breaks down. Okay, so now we're gonna go to that what I was saying, the custom. So now we're gonna go to Deuteronomy 22 and get some laws on marriage. It's time to bust out some laws. People want laws, we'll give them laws. To hit the tzitzits again. I'm gonna keep freaking reiterating this. It means these things. Like, I know people, they taught you that these are just fringes. These are just for look. You know what I'm saying? This is just our style. This is just what we did. The real tzitzit is this thing right here. It's supposed to be tied off to the four corners of your garment. And it's supposed to be knotted. You shall make for yourself, this is Deuteronomy 22 and 12. You shall make for yourself, see, tzitzits. It says, you shall make for yourself twisted threads. Twisted threads, man. This has to be twisted, knotted, and if you look it up, it on the four corners. So you have to have the four corners on the four corners, not throughout the four corners. No, on the four, like attached to the four corners, the four extremities of your garment in which you cover yourself. Okay, but anyways, that's not the topic. So let's get to the topic. We're on it's the next verse. That's why. So if a man marries a wife, so this is our custom, okay? If a man marries a wife and comes to her and hates her, and she makes and he makes a wanton accusation against her, spreading a bad name against her. So basically, this is if a man comes to her, right? That's what it means to come to her. That's why it says Isaiah came to the prophetess. Well, that means he came in her, man. Like, I'm sorry, but that's what it is, And that's what he did. He came, if you come to your wife, if you get in your wife and you have a wife, but then you decide to hate it, you know, some dude goes, has a wife, but then he hates her. Right? He doesn't like her for some reason. But then he brings an accusation against her, a false accusation, a wanton, meaning it doesn't have no bearing. Spreading a bad name against her. And he said, so this is what the bad name is saying. He's saying, I married this woman and I came near to her and I did not find signs of virginity on her. So this is where he's like, oh, well, I had sex with her, but she really wasn't a virgin. You know, so he starts talking mess to give himself an excuse to make himself feel better, to make himself look good, right? This is for the males. These are laws protecting women. I don't think anybody understands just how many laws we have protecting our women, or children, or elderly, or the poor, or animals. But, you know, whatever. But anyway, so it says what? It says, I married the woman, so he accuses her of being a whore, right? Which you could get stoned for shit like that. Then the father of the girl and her mother should take and bring proofs of the girl's virginity to the elders of the city to the gate. The father of the girl should say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as a wife, and he hated her. Now behold, he made a wanton accusation against her, saying, I did not find signs of virginity on your daughter, but these are the signs of virginity of my daughter. And they should spread out the sheet from before the elders of the city. Now let me explain what that means. Okay, for all those that don't know. So, we had a custom back in the day, okay? So you got to remember, marriage back then, it was sex. Like, nowadays, I know people have a hard time thinking of it like that because everybody's just going around doing whatever they want, being with all kinds of people, committing all kinds of fornication and adultery and all kinds of wickedness, right? But that's what it is. Like, it's a sacred thing. You're supposed to, like, once you do that, you're one, right? But the problem is that back then, that we weren't like what we were now. Back then, if you were going to take a woman, you had to go to her father. You had to go basically purchase her from her father. You had to go pay a dowry or make some kind of arrangement. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, people can get all hurt they want, but that's when you have a daughter, man, that's like yours. That's your property, bro. Just like your wife, that's your flesh, man. That's your shit. That's your inheritance. Yahweh gave you an inheritance. That means it's yours. And if you have a daughter, she's yours. So if you're going to have some man come up and want to take her, he's going to have to pay. He's going to have to give something. What if you have a daughter? Daughters were valuable back then, man. Like, they helped around the house. What about Laban? Laban's daughters kept his sheep. So what are you going to do? Now you just lost your sheep herder? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta help. You gotta compensate for that. So homie can go buy a servant or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that were customs of our people that we have to start accepting and start getting used to again, man. You know what I mean? These are things we're going to go back to. So everyone's going to have to get used to these things. We're going to have to, like, that's what's going to happen. You're just going to give, man's going to come up and be like, hey, I want to marry your daughter. And then you're going to be like, okay, well, what's the payment? You're going to have to give me this many sheep or this many oxen, or we're going to have to trade this shekels or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be a thing, bro. Like, and then, okay, so then when they pay the dowry, right? When they pay the dowry, then what you do is you give them the tokens, a sheet. That's why it says up here. It says you will spread the sheet before the elders, because then you would give them a pure linen sheet, right? You would give it to the man once you sold. Basically, that's what the man is buying. The husband, you know what I'm saying? Like the man who came and got the daughter, he's basically buying the sheet. So that he could have proof. So that the parents can have proof of the fact, so that this doesn't happen. So that some homie don't get tired of his wife, and instead of just divorcing her, he starts talking shit, running his mouth, trying to get the bitch stoned or something. You know what I'm saying? This protects the woman from getting in trouble. So they're like, hell no, we got the sheet, homie. Because that's what you do. You go and you do your business in the tent. That's what marriage was. You would exchange the money for the sheet, and then you would have usually you would have like a feast or something, you know what I'm saying? Like a celebration feast, like, oh, let's cook some food and blah, blah, blah. Then you would take your wife to the tent, and then bam, that was it. That was it. And then you come out with the sheet, you give it back to the father-in-law, and then that's it. That's a marriage.
Ain't like this is bigger.
Ain't like now. Everyone's going to have to get over that. But anyway, so what is it? That the marriage thing is just a ritual to get everybody possessed. Why do you think all the marriages fail? Wow. And it says what? They will spread forth the sheet, so that they will get the sheet, spread it forth, right? And the elders of the city shall take that man and punish him. And they shall fine him 100 silver shekels, and give them to the father of the girl. For he had issued a slander against a virgin of Yasharal, and she shall remain with him as a wife. He cannot divorce her all his days. Damn! So then the homie stuck with her, son. That's a punishment to that dude. So not only because he hated her, obviously, now he's got to stay. Now he's got to take care of her. Now he's got to stick with her and take care of her, and he had to pay a fee. And you know what I'm saying? And he got punished. You know what I'm saying? He had to pay a fee. He had to pay a fine for talking shit. So not only did he have to buy the token of virginity, but then he had to pay an extra fee on top of that. And he has to keep her as his wife. He can't even divorce her. Look at that. It says, but if the matter was true, signs of virginity were not found on the girl, and this is what they say the story of Mary was. That right? They say that for all them non-immaculate conception guys, right? The ones that say that Joseph was the father, that he spermid, right, and had a son named Jesus, right? They say he's a physical descendant, right? Well, they say that, oh, well, he wanted to put away Mary because they got together before they were supposed to get, because it says they were betrothed. So they try to say that, oh, well, they got together before they did the tokens of virginity. Well, what's supposed to happen? But if this matter was true, signs of virginity were not found on the girl. Then they shall take the girl to the entrance of her father's house, and the people of her city shall pelt her with stones, and she shall die. For she has committed an outrage in Yashar'al, to commit adultery in her father's house, and you shall remove the evil from your midst. That's fucking considered adultery. That is considered adultery, and you are to be stoned to death. If you don't do the signs of virginity, that is considered adultery, because you're committing fornication in your father's house. It is considered adultery, and you are to be stoned to death. Mary, Joseph's wife, should have been stoned to death. That was not righteous. What they did, what you guys claim, right? Either that or it was an immaculate conception. But if not, then you're going to have to explain why it said that. Because it says it. Look. I know it's off topic, but like, since we're on the whole marriage thing, well, no, let's take an opportunity to hack this shit out of the New Testament, right? Because we had just torn this apart, but let's get it again. What does it say? This is Matthew chapter 1 and 18. Now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise. So this is the birth of Jesus. When as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph. So she was espoused to him. They're supposed to get married. Before they came together. So this is before they came together. Before they came together. So this is, which one is it? They try to say, oh, it's before they did the actual ritual, right? Before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Spirit. No, bro, it literally says right there. I don't care how anybody tries to buck dance around that. That literally says Immaculate Conception. That says a Holy Ghost came down and conceived this bitch. I'm sorry, but that's literally what it says. But let's just go with it. Let's just go with it and say, look, then Joseph, her husband, being a just man, so he's just for doing this, not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privately. That's not executing the law. Look, it even gives you Deuteronomy. Look, Deuteronomy 22, 13, and 21. We're fucking reading that right now. That's not right. That's not what it said. It said to take that bitch and stone her. What the hell? Hell no, man. This is breaking the law. He was minded to put away privately, but while he thought these things, behold, the angel of the Most Lord, I'm just going to say that, appeared unto him in a dream, because this ain't the Most High, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take Mary as thy wife, for that which is conceived is of the Holy Ghost, and she shall bring forth a son, that shall call him Jesus, blah, 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 blah. But anyways, it says, before they came together. So either way, even if you want to try to pull that shit, what does it say? It says, if she wasn't a virgin, man, you know what I'm saying? If there's no tokens of virginity found on this bitch, you know what I'm saying? Because think about that. Think about that. There's no proof of that then. If they got together, right, even if it was, because they'll try to say, oh, well, that was if she, it was with another man, No, man, think about it. Joseph was trying to go get with Mary, right? Okay, so he was going to go get with Mary. They didn't do the tokens of virginity. And then they're going to go get married anyways. So what happens when they go to actually do the tokens of virginity and nothing happens? They could accuse her of being, and then what? They'll lash the man, and then he has to, and then even if you want to go by that, there's the whole thing where he has to get lashed. He has to go. Which one is it? Where's the? Oh man, hold on. Slut. I've went over the law before. It's the law when it has to do with what the GMS tries to say about the rape. You know what I'm saying? Oh, right here. Look. If a man find a virgin maiden who is not betrothed, and he was betrothed to her, and take hold of her and lies with her, and they are discovered, The man who lay with her shall give the father of the girl 50 silver shekels, and she shall become his wife, because he had afflicted her. He cannot divorce her all his days. So he had to give her a penance, but that was, see, he was already betrothed to her. He was already supposed to get with her, and then supposedly they got together before they did the tokens of virginity. Well, that's breaking the laws, man. That's committing fornication in her father's house. She deserves to be stoned, yo. Nah, this is bullshit. This is nonsense. That story's nonsense, man. Nonsense all the way around, bro. But now you know the whole tokens of virginity thing. So what does it say? It says, if a man will be found lying with a woman who is married to a husband, then both of them shall die. I'm just going to finish out the chapter. Both of them shall die. The man who lay with the woman and the woman, you shall remove the evil from Yashar. So if someone's committing adultery with someone, they both got to go. If there be a virgin who is betrothed to a man, and a man finds her in the city and lies with her, then you shall take them both to the gate of that city and pelt them with stones, and they shall die. So basically, if a man and a woman are betrothed, basically they're supposed to be married. You know what I'm saying? But they're making the deal. You know, the man's making the deal with the father, but some other guy comes up and sleeps with them. They both gotta die. This is the girl because of the fact that she did not cry out in the city because she wasn't getting raped, and the man because of the fact that he afflicted the wife of his fellow. So that was his wife. And you shall remove the evil from your midst. If it is in the field that a man will find a betrothed girl, and the man shall and will seize her and will lie with her, only the man who lies with her will die. So if you seize up a girl and you lie with her in the field, you're going to die. If you rape a woman, you're going to die. Only you. But you shall do nothing to the girl, for the girl has committed no capital sin worthy of death. For like a man who rises up against his fellow and murders him, so is this thing. So rape is just as bad as murder. For he found her in the field, and betrothed girl cried out, but she had no savior. If a man will find a virgin maiden who is not betrothed, and taken hold of her and lies with her, they are discovered. Then the man who lay with her shall give the father of the girl 50 silver shekels, and she shall become his wife, because he had afflicted her. He cannot divorce her all his life. And he was going to put her away. He was going to put her away privately. This is breaking too many laws. No matter how you flip it, it was breaking a law. No matter which way you flip it or whatever, that was breaking laws, what they did with the birth of Jesus. It was not lawful birth. So therefore, he was a mamazar. Because mamazar means child of incest, adultery, or any other type of unlawful marriage. So if it's against the laws of Yahweh, of that marriage, if the marriage is not lawful, then whatever child comes from that is known as a mamazar. It's not legitimate. It can't be because the marriage is not legitimate. If the marriage is not legitimate, how can the child be legitimate? Okay, so now we got that. If you want to read for yourselves, because I'm just going to hit Torah in this one. Well, fuck it. Might as well. Oh, shit. I don't know if I have one. Yeah, I do. We're going to hit up a couple of things out of the Apocrypha. I just wanted to get real quick. Tobit chapter 7 has a little description of a wedding too. Tobit is found in the book, in the Dead Sea Scrolls, so, yeah. So see, this is like and Raguel leaped up and kissed him and wept and blessed him and said, Thou art the son of an honest and good man. But when he heard that Tobit was blind, he was sorrowful and wept. And likewise Edna his wife and Sarah daughter wept. Moreover, they entertained them cheerfully. And after they had killed a ram of the flock and set store of a meat on the table, then said to Tobias, to Raphael, brother Azarias, Speak of those things which thou didst talk in the way, and let this business be dispatched. So he communicated the matter, and Raguel said to Tobias, Eat and drink and make merry, for it is meet that thou shouldest marry my daughter. Nevertheless, I will declare unto thee the truth. I have given my daughter in marriages 7 times. Okay, and then he goes to the thing, but basically a feast. You know what I'm saying? See, and if you jump down to verse 13, and see, look, I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died in the night, and they came unto her. Nevertheless, for the present be merry. But Tobias said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear to one another. While Gorel then said, Then take here from henceforth according to the manner, for thou art her cousin, she is thine, and the merciful Most High give you good success in all things. which means countrymen. Then he called his daughter Sarah, right? And she came to her father, and he took her by the hand and gave her to be to wife to Tobias, saying, Behold, take her after the law of Masha, and lead her away to thy father. And he blessed them. And called Edna his wife, and took paper, and did write an instrument of covenants, and sealed it, and they began to eat. So basically, and that's another thing, you also would sign a paper showing that you made the transaction. So you would make the transaction of the dowry for the sheet, and then you would write the transaction down and seal it with the covenant, and then you would have a feast, and then the father would give you his daughter, and then you would walk off with her. And Raguel called his wife Edna, and said unto her sister, Prepare another chamber, and bring her in there. And when she had done this at the hand had bidden her, she brought her there, and she wept and received the tears of her daughter, and said unto her, Be of good comfort, my daughter. Yahweh of heaven and earth gave thee joy for this thy sorrow. Be of good comfort, my daughter. Because she was finally going to get married. So there it is in Tobit. Now, as far as so that's like marriage, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what marriage is. Just all that. As far as what nationality of people you can marry, you can look at the laws. You know that you're not allowed to marry a Moabite or an Ammonite because they are Mamazars. The Canaanites for the same reason. So basically that, you know what I'm saying? A bunch of pretty much the majority of the Edomites, only the Edomite descendants of the that were mixed, the Edomite sons of Ishmael, are going to be the survivors. Everyone else is going to be wiped out because they descended from Canaanites. Anybody descended from Canaanites will no longer be in the congregation. Neither will Ammonites and Moabites. So basically, sons of Lot and the Canaanites, you are not allowed to mix with whatsoever. And as far as women goes, there's a law. Let's go to Numbers 36. And really, we should all try to follow it. It's like a thing that we should all take example of. Things happen, though, you know what I'm saying? But basically, this has to do with the daughters of Zelophehad, right? It says, And when the Jubilee will arrive of the children of Yasharal, their inheritance will be added to the inheritance of the tribe which they will marry, and from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers will the inheritance be subtracted. Okay, so basically what's going on here is that there was this man, and he had nothing but daughters. Okay, and they're like, man, well, what are we going to do with these daughters? Because if they marry another tribe, then that tribe is going to come in and take the daughters, and then when the Jubilee year comes, that land from one tribe is going to be a portion. Basically, if you were to mix, that's the whole reason. That's really when it all comes down to it, that's the reason why we're supposed to try to stay within our own tribes, because of the tribal allotments, because of the land. It's all about land inheritances, man. What don't you all get? It's about birthrights, which is land inheritances. And like, so how are you going to have land? You know what I'm saying? You can't be having Zebulon land over there in Dan. You know what I'm saying? You can't have Issachar land over there in Simeon. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be doing that. Everyone has to stay. The land has to stay within their own stuff. So it's wisest to stay with your own people. What does it say? Moses commanded the children of Yasharal according to the word of Yahweh, saying, Correctly does the tribe of the children of Joseph speak. This is the word of Yahweh commanded regarding the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, Let them be wives to whomever is good in their eyes. So this kind of attributes to all women, though. Who take for a husband whoever looks good to you. But only to the family of their father's tribe shall they become wives. But you have to stick to your tribe. An inheritance of the children of Yasharal shall not make rounds from tribe to tribe. Rather, the children of Yasharal shall cleave every man to his inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's why. You had to the land isn't going to make rounds, man. You ain't going to make rounds tribe to tribe. You got to stay with your own tribe so the land stays where it's at, so that make sure that the sons get the land of the fathers, man. It's just making sure people get what they deserve. And it says, Rather, the children of Yashar shall cleave every man to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. So see right there, we're supposed to cleave to the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers. Every daughter who inherits an inheritance of the tribes of the children of Yashar also, every daughter of the tribe of Yashar shall become the wife of someone from a family of her father's tribe, so that every one of the children of Yashar will inherit the inheritance of his fathers. So basically, you got to stay within your own tribe. If you're a woman of the tribe of Simeon, you have to marry someone from the tribe of Simeon. An inheritance, if you same thing with Gad, Dan, Asher, fucking the whole 12, 13. An inheritance shall not make rounds from a tribe to another tribe. For the tribes of Yashar, the children of Yashar shall cleave every man to his own inheritance. As Yahweh commanded Moshe, so did the daughters of Zelophehad did. Mala, Tarza, Hagla, Malka, Nawa, and the daughters of Zelophehad became wives to the sons of their uncles. To cousins from their families of the children of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, did they become wives, and their inheritance remained with the tribe of the family of their father. So now it comes down, so they married back into the tribe of Manasseh, and so now that it stayed within that tribe. These are the commandments of the ordinances of Yahweh commanding through Moshe to the children of Yashar in the plains of Moab at the Jordan by Jericho. So now, we're going to get a couple of precepts of this in the Apocrypha. We're going to go back to Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12. We don't have much more to go, so just hang in there. I really didn't mean to make this as long as it was. It just happened. It says, Then he said, I am Azarias, the son of Ananias, the great, of thy brethren. Then Tobit said, Thou art welcome, brother. Be not now angry with me, for I have inquired to know thy tribe and thy family, for thou art my brother, and of honest and good stock. For I know Ananias and Jonathas, sons of the great Samias, as we went together to Jerusalem to worship, and offered the firstborn and the tenths of the fruits, and they were not seduced with the error of our brethren. My brother, thou art of good stock. So basically he's telling him he's of good stock, giving him props. Let's see, and then... Let's see. Oh, that's chapter 4. And then let's go to chapter 4, verse 12. So see, it's all about the stock, man. It's all about where you were. Let's see. But what I really wanted was 4 and 12. So Salah. But that was a good one anyway. Beware of all the whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers. And take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are children of the prophets, Noah and Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married their wives in their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. Now, therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons of the daughters of thy people, in not taking a wife of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want. For lewdness is the mother of famine. So right there, you're supposed to try to take a wife of your own tribe, man. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to try to stick to that the best of our abilities. 6 and 15. Then the angel said unto him, Dost thou not remember the precepts which thy father gave thee, that thou shouldest marry a wife of thine own kindred? Wherefore hear me, O my brother, for she shall be given to thee wife. And make thou no reckoning of the evil spirit, for this same night she shall be given thee in marriage. So right there, so it's, you're supposed to know the precepts and take a woman of your own tribe, if at least of Israel. You know what I'm saying? At least try to stick with Israel. At least out of all the, if you have to go, okay, stay away completely from Canaanites, Moabites, and Ammonites. Like that is like the major no-no, and Amalek and Esau, pretty much. Only the ones that are mixed with Ishmael, but how are you going to know that? So anyways, I guess go marry a Saudi Arabian or something. But anyway, so try to stay away from those nations completely. If you have to marry one of the other nations, I guess, but try not to, you know what I'm saying? But if it happens, it happens. It's happened before. Try to stick with at least within Israel. You know what I'm saying? Try to stick with your own tribe. And if you can't stick with your own tribe, at least try to stick with Israel. If you can't stick with Israel, then do not whatsoever take of those forbidden tribes. And that's it. That's all the only advice I could give. And that's my advice, you know what I'm saying, as my knowledge from Torah. So, and people could yell at me all they want about it. 36 and 6. Numbers 36 and 6 says what? Oh, we already got that. That was the daughters of Zelophehad. Okay, Deuteronomy 24 and 5. This is, what age can a man get married? So let's go to Deuteronomy 24 and 5. These are some laws, just some laws about marriage. When a man marries a new wife, he shall not go out to the army, nor shall it obligate him for any matter. He shall be free from his home, for his home for 1 year, and he shall gladden his wife whom he has married. So right there, man, you got a year off. If you're a man, you get a new wife, you got a year off to comfort your wife, man. You know what I'm saying? To gladden your wife. Because I'm pretty sure she's probably a little sad because she's, not with her family no more and stuff like that, And this goes the same thing with the foreign women, you know what I'm saying? With the rebel women. Like I said, it's not a law. Like, you can take captive, obviously, foreign women of other nations, but like I said, it's not highly recommended because of, look at with Solomon. So it's not highly recommended that you do it if the woman is willing. Let me reiterate, okay? Maybe if I didn't iterate it, let me reiterate it one more time. Stay within your own tribes if you can, because it's what's recommended, it's what's commanded, like especially the daughters, you know what I'm saying? Especially the daughters. Men, it's different, but it's especially the daughters. You're supposed to stay within your own tribe, right? And then if you have to, if you're a male, if you have to go, you could take a wife from another tribe, you know what I'm saying, of Israel. And then if you really have to, you could take a concubine from one of the other nations, but absolutely not from the Canaanites, Moabites, and Ammonites. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, but see, when can you go? When is the war? When is the age of war? So let's get a grasp on this. I brought this out before, but I'm gonna bring it out again. Okay, so here we go. Let's go Numbers 1 and 3. What does it say? From 20 years old age and up, everyone who goes out to the legion in Yasharal, you shall count them according to their legions, you and Aaron. And again, there were all the countings of the children of Yasharal according to their fathers' households from 20 years of age and up, everyone who goes out to the legion in Yasharal. So if you're 20 years old, that means you're a man, and you then get drafted into the army of Yasharal. So 20 is the age of manhood, and in fact, let's get another law on it. Let's get Leviticus 27. Let's get Leviticus 27 and verse, let's see, where are we at? 27, and we'll just start at 1. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Yasharal, and say to them, if a man articulates a vow to Yahweh regarding a valuation of living beings, so this is where, if you make a vow, right? If you make an evaluation, it says the valuation of the male shall be for someone 20 years old. So this is like the tithing. If you're going to give like a value of the people, like how much you're supposed to give per age group, these are the age groups. So these are the real age groups. You know how they say like, infant, and then child, and then adolescent, and then a young adult, and then elderly, and all that stuff, right? Well, these are the real age groups, okay? These are the real age groups according to the Torah. 20 years old to 60 years old. So that's manhood. 20 years old to 60 years old shall be the valuation of 50 shekels, right? Of the sacred shekel, because you're armored. That means you're in the army, man. If she is female, the valuation shall be 30 shekels, because it's a covenant. And if from 5 to 20, right, years of age, if it's from 5 to 20, so from 5 years old to 20 years old, that's a child. So from you'll see, so from 5 to 20, so from 20 to 60 is men, from 5 years old to 20, that's childhood. That's when you're supposed to really be training your child and teaching them laws like really hardcore and stuff, is at 5. That's when the real stuff begins for little young boys, 5. All the way to 20. Years of age, the valuation of a male shall be 20 shekels, and of a female 10. And if 1 month See, from 1 month to 5 years of age. So that is like a young. So you know, I guess a young. I guess what would you call this? Like a. I guess so. You have a suckling. You know what I mean? Like a newborn, and then you have a suckling, which is like 1 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Like a young child still. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still like a suckling, like a little young. Male, you know what I'm saying? So you have the newborns, so from 1 to month, so from birth to 1 month, that's like newborn. So you're a newborn till you're like a month old. So that you don't do nothing for a month. Up to a month, you ain't even really counted. Up until a month, and then you start being in the registry from 1 month to 5 years age. You're like that suckling child, and then from 5 to 20, you're a kid. You know what I'm saying? You're a boy, and then from 20 to 60, you're a man. And it says, the valuation of the male shall be 5 silver shekels, and the female shall be 3. And from 60 years and up, that's elderly, is for a male, the valuation shall be 15 shekels, and for the female 10. And if he is too poor for the valuation, then he should cause to him to stand before the Kahan, or the priest, and the Kahan should evaluate him according to what the person making the vow can afford. Should the Kahan evaluate him? So then you take if the person can't afford anything, the shekels, then the money value, then you present them before the priest, and the priest will then determine how much the man should pay according to his income or whatever. So now let's get the duties of a wife. Okay, let's go to Proverbs 12 and 4. This is just what's on the list, so I'm just going, duties of a wife. It's just what's on the list. We're almost done. We're at the bottom of it, so just bear with a little more. 12 and 4. What does it say? An accomplished woman is the crown of her husband. So an accomplished woman is like a crown to a husband. But a shameful one is like a rot in his bones. So if you have a shameful woman, man, it's like having bone rot. You're rotten wood, man. You're that shot. You're shot, man. You're shatai. You're the shittum wood, man. You're shit. You're rotten bones. You're rotten wood. You're shit. Okay, so anyways, so that's one thing. That's just a little, thing about woman. So let's go Proverbs 31. Right? And we all know what this is. 10 through 31, this is the accomplished woman. This is what an accomplished woman is. An accomplished woman, who can find? Who can find? Far beyond pearls is her value. Her husband's heart relies on her, and she shall lack no fortune. Or he shall lack no fortune, because that's his inheritance. She bestows goodness upon him, never evil, all the days of her life. So your wife should just be doing good, not evil. She seeks wool and flax. Her hands work willingly. So she should be seeking out stuff to make clothes for you, man. You know what I mean? She should be willing to work with her hands. She is like a merchant ship. From afar she brings her sustenance. And then she arises while it is yet night and gives food to her household and a portion to her maidens. So not only is she like a merchant, man, she buying, selling, trading, going forth and bringing things from far. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I brought you this from over here. I brought you this from over here. You know what I'm saying? She arises while it's yet night. So now at night, midnight snacks. She get midnight snacks. Midnight snacks. She envisions a field and buys it. Right? From the fruit of her handiwork, she plants a vineyard. So she even goes out and buys land for her husband. You know what I'm saying? And this is also all spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Like the field that the woman's supposed to buy, right? She's supposed to go out and buy this field, man. Go buy the Torah, man. Go buy the good land. You know what I'm saying? Give your tithes and offerings to Yahweh and buy the good land. And it says, with strength she girds her loins and invigorates her arms. So she's a strong woman. She discerns that her enterprise is good. Her lamp is not snuffed out by night. She stretches out her hands to the distaff. So, she ain't afraid of no night work. You know what I'm saying? She's up all day and night, man. You know what I'm saying? She's constantly doing things. It says she discerns. It says her palms support the spindle. So she makes things. She makes clothes, She spreads out her palm to the poor and extends her hands to the destitute. So she helps the poor, man. She helps the needy. She fears not snow for her household, for all her household is clothed in scarlet wool. So we all wearing scarlet, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got this. That's why we got the scarlet, you know, and the zeets, man. We wearing scarlet wool. You don't have to worry about no coat, 'cause our wives make coats. She made for herself luxurious bread spreads, linen and purple wool for her clothing. And that's, see, she make the bedding, the clothing. Her husband is distinctive in the councils when he sits with the elders of the land. See, and when you have an accomplished woman, that ends up making the husband accomplished. It makes him distinct. Then the husband ends up becoming distinct in councils, man. You end up becoming an elder of the elders. She makes a cloak and sells it, delivers a belt to the peddler. So she's buying, selling, trading. Strength and majesty are her raiment. So she dons herself with strength and majesty. She joyfully awaits the last day. See? She joyfully awaits the last day. She joyfully awaits the time, the day of Yahweh, that day. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teachings of kindness is on her tongue. So she opens with wisdom, and she teaches of kindness. You know what I'm saying? She anticipates the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of laziness. So she even anticipates what's happening. You know, like, oh, like, you know, just for an example, you know, my wife, she's like, oh, I knew you were going to want this, you know, so I brought you this, you know what I'm saying? Just like little thing, you know what I'm saying? Just like they know, you know? They're not lazy. Her children have risen and praised her. Her husband, he extolled her. And that's true, man. I extol my wife, man. You know what I'm saying? She is a crown on my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, she does good, man. She helps me out. She helps me get the materials. She goes out and gets the materials for me to help me make zits and stuff, man. She helps me with the kanafs. She makes my mantles, you know what I'm saying, so-called hoods, or so-called talits, they call them, the Jews. You know what I'm saying? She makes blankets for the kids, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're trying to work on to where we can even make our own, because it's really hard and we're poor and stuff, so we can only afford little things at a time, you know, just enough material to make everybody's zits, but Yahweh willing, we will have enough one day to where we can literally make our own clothing, legitly, to where we can look legit, you know what I'm saying, and please Yahweh with our works. It says, many women have amassed achievement, but you surpass them all. So see, yeah, there's many women that have achieved some shit, but this woman, right, this accomplished woman, she surpasses them all. Grace is false and beauty vain, right? A woman who fears Yahweh, she should be praised. So we should be praising and helping uplift. Not to say we bow down and pray, black woman is God, you know, none of that shit, no. But we are to give praise, as in like words of encouragement, you know what I'm saying? Like, thank them, man, you know what I'm saying? Tell them that they're pretty, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, give them compliments, like, compliment them on their work, on their deeds, in fearing Yahweh, not on carnal shit, no, on fearing Yahweh. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her be praised in the gates by her very own deeds. So, she will get the fruit of her own hands, you give her what she gives out, and she is to be praised in the gates of her very own deeds. So her very own deeds is what will cause her to be praised in the gates. So now we just have a couple more precepts to do. We're going to go to Ecclesiastes. We're actually going to go to the Apocrypha, Ecclesiastes 26 and 14. Okay. And it says what? It says, the grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. So, you know what I mean? Like, a graceful wife, you know what I'm saying, who fears Yahweh, and in discretion will fatten the bones. But what did it say in Proverbs? That the ashamed woman is rotten bones. Will give you rotten bones. A silent and loving, which the precept for that is Proverbs 12 and 4. A silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahweh, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. Not meaning she just has to be silent all the time and blah blah blah. No, it means like she's in like it says, she's subject to her husband, meaning she listens to her husband. She sits there and listens instead of yakking her fucking mouth all goddamn day like the women out there right now, you know? Silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahweh, and there's nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. So if she fears Yahweh, then her mind will be instructed, and there's nothing better than that. But a shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace. She's a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued, man. This mind, her instructed mind, cannot be valued, right? As the sun when it ariseth in the high heaven, yeah, that's right, the sun rises, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house. So your wife, through her deeds, through her ordering of the house, shows that she is beautiful. As the clear light is upon the holy candlestick, just like the light, she's a light to the Gentiles too, that's the menorah. So is the beauty of the face in ripe age. So see, actually, they get more beautiful as they get older, man. We should be loving our women, man. The more they get older, the more they should look beautiful to us. It says, as the golden pillars are upon the sockets of silver, right? And that's true. The golden pillars on the sockets of silver have to do with I'm Salak Ox, my temple man is in there, but the wilderness tabernacle, there's pillars, this ain't even a good interpretation. Anyways, the temple tabernacle, there's the 3 levels. Well, there's 5 pillars in the front, and then 4 pillars. There's 5 pillars that hold up the entrance curtain, and then there's 4 pillars that hold up the Holy of Holies curtain, right? And which is 5 and 4 is 9. The 5 in the front means 5 is Kamash, and then 4 is to lay down and prostrate yourself, because you prostrate yourself before the Holy of Holies, before the Ark. And so that's it. And see the pillars, that the 5 pillars in the front, which hold up the entrance curtain, those sockets are brass sockets. You know what I'm saying? And then the other ones are silver, if I'm not mistaken. Man, it's a lot. But one of them, they're different. They're different pillars. The ones in the back, they're of the silver. You know what I'm saying? The golden pillars are upon the silver sockets, right? The sockets of silver. So because it goes from the front of it goes from the base metal to the higher, and then it goes higher. So as you go in, you keep raising. So you start off as the copper socket in the front of the tabernacle, and then by the time you get in the back, it's silver, and then when you get to the top, it's all gold. It says, "So are the fair feet with a constant heart." Right, so the fair feet, the dainty feet of a woman with a constant heart or mind, a well-instructed mind. It's all about that well-instructed mind, right? Okay, so now let's see. Let's jump down to verse 26. It says, actually, let's just keep going. Hold on, look, a harlot shall be 22. A harlot shall be accounted as spittle. So a harlot's no better than drool. But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. So your woman, because your woman represents your wisdom, and the wisdom has built her foundation on 7 pillars. You know what I'm saying? The 7 pillars, represent the 7, the complete, the pillars of completeness. You know what I'm saying? And then even if you want to break down, because Yahweh's name is a strong tower, it goes into his name, because his name is 4 letters with 3 syllables. You get what I'm saying? You know what a syllable is? You know what I'm saying? Like Yah, Ha, Wa. That's a syllable. Every time you know what I'm saying? You have to, like, it's the break in the word. You know what I mean? Like, honest, that's 2 syllables. Dishonest, 3 syllables. Woman, 2 syllables. Contemneth, 3 syllables, right? Well, it's Yah, Ha, Wa, meaning there's 4 letters, because there's a Yah, a Ha, a Wa, and a Ha. So there's 4 letters, because there's no vowels, so there's 4 consonants and 3 syllables. The syllables are all A's, the sounds of A's. So there's 3 consonants, or 4 consonants, and 3 syllables, which makes 7. But anyways, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog But she that is shamefaced will hear Yahweh. See, he said a shameless woman is a bitch. He just said that. A shameless woman is a bitch. If you don't have shame, you're a bitch. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him will in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. Ooh. A loud crying woman and a scold shall be sought out to drive away the enemies. So look at that. This is like some Deborah shit. A loud crying woman and a scold shall be sought to drive away the enemies. Because a loud ass woman that's scolding you, that ain't no pleasant thing. There be two things that grieve my heart. The third maketh me angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty, men of understanding that are not set by it, and one that returneth from unrighteousness to sin. And Yahweh prepareth such a one for the sword. So, you know what I'm saying? But this is about the women right now. But they will be counted ungodly. So the last thing I wanted to get before we call it a day, we're going to go to Deuteronomy and talk about divorce. So if you do happen to want... A woman cannot divorce a man. Just letting you know right now. So women, sorry, whatever husband you're stuck with them. Get him to write you a bill of divorcement. Even if it's in a text message. So anyways, so here we go. Unless he's committing fornication, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's like laws and stuff like that, breaking stuff like that. But like just because like the woman just wants to leave or whatever, that don't fly. If a man marries a woman and she lives with her, it will be that she will not find favor in his eyes. This is Deuteronomy 24:1. For he found her in a matter of immorality. And he wrote her a bill. So if he finds her some reason to be immoral, he could write her a bill of divorcement and present it to her in her hand, and sent her from his house. And she left his house and went and married another man. And the latter man hated her and wrote her a bill of divorcement and presented it into her hand and sent her from his house. Right, the latter man who married her to himself will die. Says or the latter man who married her to himself will die. Her first husband who divorced her shall not again take her husband. So what does it say? Look, okay, so let's get this again. Right? So you can divorce the woman, right? But you have to write her a bill of divorcement. He wrote her a bill of divorcement, presented it to her hand, and sent her from her house. And she left his house and went and married another man. And the latter man hated her and wrote her a bill of divorcement and presented it into her hand and set her from his house, or the latter man who married her to himself will die. So see, you have to keep writing the bill of divorcement, and then you can't write a bill of divorcement. It's fornication basically if you don't write a bill of divorcement and you send her out and then she marries another man. You know what I'm saying? Then that man will die because he's committing fornication. But if she has the bill of divorcement, she can go marry someone else. You know what I'm saying? And then also it says that her first husband who divorced her shall not again take her to become his wife after she has been defiled, for it is an abomination before Yahweh. You shall not bring sin upon the land of Yahweh your power gives you as an inheritance. So if you divorce a woman, she goes and marries someone. That's why I'm saying if she goes and marries someone else and then he divorces her, she's not allowed to go back because that's an abomination. It says when a man marries a new wife, he shall not go out to the army. Oh, okay, and then that goes into other ones. Okay, so that's divorce. He could send her away. She's free to marry after that, but not. Let's see. I just wanted to see if there was like a precept to this, but there's not. But yeah, it's a lot. So that watch is getting late. I'm about to call it quits. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so recap. We went over the wedding rings and all that stuff, how it's satanic. Then we went over what marriage really is, who you can marry, what age you can get married at, the wife's duties in marriage, and what has to do with putting away and divorce. So hopefully this was edifying to all the Akiyam wa Akwat out there, the brothers and sisters. I just wanted to put a lesson out there. I know it's not really what I wanted to put out. I wanted to put out the angels and demons. That way everybody has a comprehensive, no more confusion about what's what and who's who and what does what and all that stuff. You know, just give it, present the evidence. That way everybody has it, and then go from there. And then also the one about life after death. But those ones will be coming up very soon within the next few days, Yahweh willing. So stick in there. Be patient with me. And then after those lessons, I will go back to the Temple Tabernacle. We are going to be tearing that up. I'm going to finish off the first tabernacle so that way everybody can sit and meditate upon the wilderness tabernacle. And then we will move on to the Solomon's tabernacle. So with that, Kahalal Yahweh Zaba'awat Akkad. All praises to Yahweh, Master of Legions, who's one. Shema Yasha'al Yahweh Alahayana Yahweh Akkad, which is hear or listen, Israel. Yahweh our power. Yahweh is one. Barak Hashem Yahweh, which is bless the name of Yahweh. Ahab Yahweh, which is love Yahweh. And Barak Atha Akiam Wa Akwaf, which is bless you, brothers and sisters. Shalom, shalom, which is peace, wholeness, all kinds of things. Shalom's deep. Go look it up. Aman, aman. Okay, call Allah Yahweh Taba'awat Akkad.